How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another RobotFredd Reads Q&A. This time is going to be a little bit different. I don't have a script in front of me. I was too lazy to make one, but I feel like it would be very interesting if I gave you all these very honest answers just off the top of my head. So without further ado, let's get right into the questions. Do you know Geometry Dash? Yes. I think I answered this question before, actually, in this in the last Q&A. Yes, I do know Geometry Dash. As a matter of fact, let me pull up my hours in Geometry Dash. Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know I had that many hours. I have 28.4 hours in Geometry Dash. So yes, I do kind of play it, not religiously, but I do play it some. Have you ever used BFDI as a source for your Sparta remixes? Kind of. I wouldn't say specifically BFDI, but I have used BFDIA and Teapot for a collab, and I used just Teapot for a request by Chris. But that's the only times that I have used it, but I have not specifically used BFDI. Can I save your old videos? I do have somewhat of an issue with saving old videos because some people like to save them and then just upload them. There have been times where people just re-upload people's remixes that are not even lost yet. If you're planning on saving my old videos just to watch by yourself, you don't upload them anywhere, that's absolutely fine. If you save my old videos and then re-upload them when they're gone, that's also fine. But if you save them and re-upload them when they're not even gone, that's a problem. Otherwise, totally fine. I don't care. What are your favorite music genres? I listen to a lot of music genres. It's not limited to just one. It's just a variety of different music. It's been from like classical to like hip hop to rap. I've listened to them all. I like a lot of different songs, so it's not limited to just anything. I even listen to ambient tracks, like those ones that you would find on YouTube. I'll listen to just basically anything. What's your favorite thing to do when you're bored? The only thing I can do when I'm very bored and I don't want to do anything, like I've said, I've listened to ambient tracks, so I'll put one to listen to, and I'll just lay in bed alone with my thoughts, and that's pretty much it. Frankly, it's not as boring as you would think. It's really fun if you find the right ambient tracks to listen to. Ever played Forsaken or Outcome Memories? This question I've actually been able to answer because I actually played Outcome Memories recently. Outcome Memories, not too bad. I wouldn't say it's my style. I don't know a lot about Sonic EXE, so that one I probably wouldn't play a lot. Forsaken, on the other hand, the lore kind of interests me, but the game is something that I don't really see myself playing by myself religiously at all. Jesus Christ, I need to get out more. What sources for a Sparta Remix video would you often use the most? If I absolutely could, without fear of judgment, I would absolutely use Pressure. Mostly because now with a lot of the updates that come out, there's a lot of quotes you can use, a lot of samples that you can use for either pitches or percussions. I think it's absolutely amazing to use. You know, if I could use it all the time, I absolutely would. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do you like Dandy's World? I used to play it with a friend a lot, and I unlocked some of the characters. I've mastered like 2 of them. I feel like they should absolutely expand their lore more. I feel like a lot of the updates now are just like, here's a new character, here's some new stuff, here's some new rooms, but I kind of wish like they could expand on the lore that they have. What they have right now is absolutely interesting. It interests me a lot, but I really feel like they need to start expanding that a little more. I think my interest in the game would increase if there was a lot more added to the lore. Can I have $5? Fuck no. Does it really matter if the samples are obviously fake, terrible, or used a lot of times? I don't think it matters. I don't really think it should matter because I don't really think it's that big of a deal. If it's a good sample and it works with your remix, use it. Absolutely. Also, what's with that one kick pattern you always use in every end of a bar? I feel personally called out. If you're wondering, for like out of curiosity, this is the same kick pattern that's used in Daring CWE. That's where I got it from, and I don't use it that much anymore. Who is your favorite Who is your favorite Squid Game character and why? My favorite character in Squid Game as a whole was Thanos. I think it was very nice to actually get a character who didn't really understand what was going on, didn't really have a reason to be scared. It was pretty nice. Even though I think some people would probably see him as the comedic relief, I do feel like something like that was kind of necessary for Squid Game Season 2. Who's your most hated Squid Game character and why? Player 100 from Season 2 and Season 3, mostly because this motherfucker always wanted to continue the game, even when he was fighting for his life. I'm still kind of pissed off he made it to the final game, because he didn't really deserve it. Yeah, he was just a motherfucker. Are there any minor or background characters you liked? Or are you one of those people that only pay attention to main characters? I liked Ali from Season 1. Technically, they didn't explore a lot with him, so I kind of see him as a side character, though I do kind of see why people would say he's a main character. But the way that he died in Season 1 absolutely hurt. Even though he had it coming, he was too trusting. He would not have survived Season 2. I do still like him as a character. I feel like what they did with him was very good, so I would say he's my favorite minor character. Do you think it's good for my collabs to have a lot of parts like they usually do, or should I start making collabs with less parts so participants get longer parts? This is getting kind of personal, userless. Are you sure you want me to answer that here? I think with what you do with the collabs right now is pretty good. Getting a lot of people to have a chance in a collab is, it's fairly decent. I feel like if you want to have less parts for your collabs and you want to make it friends only, then I would say do less parts. But I think right now, just having more parts and having all these people in, I feel like that's fine. Do you think Piggy still deserves hate as a Sparta remix source? After all, it's been a few years, so it's definitely not overused anymore. Not entirely true. I feel like I'm going to get into this in a minute, because I did see another question that I'd have to bring this up. But Piggy, as a source in general, is not necessarily that bad. I don't really see the point in claiming a source is overused, because, a lot of sources that people use are overused, but they don't seem to care. I think it's only when a specific source has too many bad remixes compared to good remixes that it starts to become overused, or when it becomes popular to the point where everybody starts to hate it. That's when they start saying, oh, it's overused, don't use that. Personally, I'm on the side of use whatever you want, and that includes Piggy. Like, if you want to use that, just use it. If you can make it into a good remix, use it. It shouldn't matter. Yeah, someone will kill me for that opinion. Can I have $5? Can you fuck off? What would you consider to be your Sparta remix hot take? A lot of the people who inspire you to make remixes are probably not people you would want to get to know personally. Now, that sounds obvious because of a lot of the people who've been called out in the past, but I'm not just talking about those people. I'm also talking about people who are not necessarily the nicest people to members of the community that they do not know. I'm not gonna name names, but there are some people who are only nice to members of the community that they are friends with, which is pretty fucking stupid. These remixers are, I would say, not the best people to members of the community that they are not even acquainted with. I guess what I'm trying to say is they talk a lot of shit, and I just don't get why. Like, I can understand, like, talking shit and being able to back it up in your work. Like, you're able to do good work and you can talk shit about people. Like, I can kind of understand that. I just don't see the point in wasting your time bringing these people down instead of, actually helping them, giving them genuine advice. I don't get it. But yeah, I guess that's my hot take. Just because a person influenced you to make Sparta remixes doesn't always mean they're a good person behind the screen. Hey, Editor Fred here. I just wanted to bring up another point about these people, and it has to do with their inconsistencies when talking about drama. When it comes to big drama, like anything massive that's happened that's affected most of the people here, they don't like when you talk about that. They'll actually condemn you for bringing up such situations. But if you like say like the wrong thing that can be taken out of context, they hold that shit over your head forever. And I don't know why. And it's especially the people that they don't like, that they just have a problem with just because. My point is, they can let these massive amounts of drama go, and they'll hate when anybody talks about it, while any other time that they can bring up small bits of drama that aren't even drama, it's like shit that you shouldn't even be mad about, or just shit that's already been solved and they just want to make a big deal out of it for no reason. I mean, if you even say one thing that they would find to be like bad, they will hold it over your head forever. And then they'll just blow whatever you say out of proportion. They don't even ask like what you mean or anything. They'll just think you mean one thing and roll with that. And it's like a select group of people too. Like there are specific people that I'm talking about that I'm still not gonna name, but they just act like fucking babies all the time, and it gets annoying. But anyways, yeah, that's my other point. This is turning into a fucking rant video. Can I have $5? Can you shut the fuck? How would you describe the Sparta Remix community in one word? Flawed. And there's a lot of people that make it that way. What song can you listen to on repeat? There are two different songs that I can actually listen to on repeat, and that's Lonesome Town by Ricky Nelson and Blue by Young Kai. If you could live in any fictional place from a cartoon, what would it be and why? You didn't specify what type of cartoon, so the Helliverse. I can't say much about why. All I can say is that this character that I have as my profile picture has a story that I really hope works. It's a passion project, so I've been kind of focused on that a little bit. What are several pieces of advice you could give someone when they start Sparta remixing? Make remixes how you want. Like, if you're doing Sparta remixing just as a hobby, your style doesn't really matter that much. I would say as long as your remixes sound at least somewhat decent, I think it's a good step in the right direction. If you want future advice, like if you want to improve in the future, then obviously listen to actual criticism that you may get. If you're not really wanting to go far with it and you're just doing it in your free time, your style doesn't really matter. Just as long as it sounds good to you, that's all that matters. Also, if you want to use a specific source, just use it. Obviously, if it's like NSFW or like gore stuff, don't do that. I'm mainly talking about like specifically overused sources. I don't believe in overused sources. Like, if you want to use a source, don't be pressured into not using it. If you use it and, you know, it sounds like it works, just use it. And yeah, you may get comments in your comment section saying, hey, this is an overused source, why did you use it? The reality of the situation is that nobody should really care what kind of source you used. As long as it's not hurting anybody, use whatever source you want. By a technicality, there are a lot of sources that you could consider to be overused, like The Simpsons, Squid Game, basically any object show. So my advice is, if the source is basically safe for work, use it if you want. How did you get inspired to make content? Gary Views and Jario, at the time, basically shaped my association with remixes. I really loved listening to their remixes. And then of course there were other remixers, smaller remixers like Cherrybow, who also helped as well. Cable TV or streaming services. Streaming services have gotten to a point where it's kind of like cable because of the amount of ads you get if you don't have a certain subscription plan. But I do still prefer them over cable because of the fact you can choose to watch whatever you want, whenever you want. Any pet peeves? Specifically, whenever people try to talk to me when I have headphones on. Favorite food? Any type of buffalo chicken. And do you even lift? Yes, I have an indoor gym, actually, and I use it about 3 times a week. And that seems to be all of the questions for now. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble on because I didn't write a script for this video. I've thought about doing more Q&As more often, so I guess if you guys want another Q&A, if I get enough questions in the comment section of this video, I'll do another one. unscripted as well. If I didn't answer some questions, or if I didn't answer any specific question that you asked when you asked multiple questions, either didn't know enough information to answer the questions, or maybe I didn't feel comfortable answering the questions. But either way, sorry if I didn't answer all the questions. But with that, I'm going to disappear into the void. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a nice day. Hey, can I get $5?